typically at the beginning of these, I'll talk to Mel and be like, "Hey, Mel, what do you think of this?" And then Mel will throw back some stuff. I'm gonna throw it to you this time, Sunday. Is that cool?
Oh shit, let's go.
Hey, Sunday.
Hey, y'all.
So, what do you get when you have 43 minutes to end a 5-season show?
What?
Yeah.
I really don't feel that way. I kind of feel like they've been ending this actually for seasons. I don't know if y'all remember, like, last season, I thought that it was ending. And y'all was like, there's a whole nother season. I'm like, oh shit, this felt like a wrap-up.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like this whole season has been like, let us pull all of these 4 seasons together to a conclusion and let everybody have their own individual episode. Lando, he had like 2 or 3 episodes before he got taken over by some kind of slothy, creepy snake alien that is now, not even letting him drink. Maybe he could recommend his friend to, what's old boy with the drinking habit that went off to be a billionaire? Yeah, maybe they'll work for Garibaldi if he gave him a little parasite.
Oh, no. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna land there. I'm complete.
Okay. That's a wild U-turn right there. Because, I agree. It seems like that they've been trying to wrap this up for 2 seasons.
Because you said they were supposed to close up season 4. That's why we don't have Ivanova, because season 4 was their last season. They got canceled. And so they wrapped that up. And now all of a sudden they got another season. It's not like you can expect to get a season 6 because you've already been canceled. So it's up in the air. So yeah, it looks like it's up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had that perfect ending in season 4. They ended the war, and Sheridan and Delenn got married, and it was like, okay, we are looking at a brighter future. And then season 5 comes around, it's like, psych, everything's still messed up. We got some things to address.
It is nice though that you get to see it's not a happy ending, because in so much content it's get married and live happily ever after. And anybody who ever has been married knows that the wedding usually is the end of the happy part.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry, y'all. Especially like people who are striving for liberation. If you are successful in eliminating your immediate oppressor, it's life. We're going to constantly be coming up against challenges and difficulties, and we have got to keep fighting and working and growing until you die. Like, ain't none of this gonna be a happily ever after the end.
Until you die.
Until you die.
Along with it not being a happy ending, it's not like a definitive ending either, which honestly I think is kind of a better perspective than a lot of other series or shows where they're just like, nope, everything is done, everybody is dead, the villain's dead, the heroes are dead, everybody is doornail dead. This one, they do a lot of passing of the torch, and it looks like they're trying to set it up that if they wanted to, they can pick right back up, but with these new characters at the helm. And I'm pretty excited about that, which every time I bring it up, I'm losing faith every time I talk about it. But like the revival of the show, because it was over a year ago that they were like, yep, we're still working on it. Yep, we're still working on it. And Warner Brothers is all like, oh, we want to merge with Netflix, which means we'll never see anything ever again.
Yeah. Like there has been a consistent theme has been that there are no endings, only new beginnings.
Yes.
So to close it, the appearance of a new beginning goes with the theme of the show. Like all this timey-wimey stuff that they did with the Babylons, and there being 5 of them. Like every things, we get a new thing. We got to see humans evolve to move on, like the Borderlands did.
Yeah, new beginnings. And I think that's why this one doesn't feel so harsh. It's bittersweet, but then it's kind of like, oh, there's hope for the future. even though they are hinting and foreshadowing there is some trouble down the road. But right now, let's just celebrate. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We are starting off with Sheridan and Delenn. We start off, it's a restless final night on Babylon 5 for Sheridan. We have Sheridan and Lockley. They're talking about everything in CNC, and he's telling Lockley, like, okay, look, we're about to leave, me and Delenn, and we don't need anybody to really know that we left, because, you know, we want to keep all of that fanfare and party stuff down, which is kind of funny because he threw a big old party for Jakar. It's like Jakar and Garibaldi. Even, you know, somebody got shot, and I bet Sheridan's like, you know what? I don't think I felt like getting shot or anybody getting shot at my going away party. So none of that. Jakar is so there are in the hallway. We switch to the hallway, and there is Talon. Remember Talon? He's the samurai sword wielding the samurai sword wielding Narn. He's he's hitting a alert on Jakar's quarters door, and Veer pops up. He's like, oh, he's not there. And he's like, well, where is he? Oh, he's gone. Okay, gone where? Nobody knows. When will he back? He won't be. And then Talon is like, all right. Veer walks off, and Talon immediately hacks the door and walks in. I'm like, bro knows what he's doing, right? He walks in and he says something, and the computer's like, voice recognized. And then he receives a message left by Jakar talking about, hey, I'm leaving. I knew it would be you. No, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. When Veer tells Talon that Jakar's gone and nobody knows where he's going, Talon is like, but Jakar asked me to come here, you know. And so he breaks in and everything. He gets the recorded message, and Jakar explains, like, okay, I've already gone, but I think you would be perfect to stand in my place to speak for our people. And we get a really good message about Jakar saying, like, the reason why I left is because this cult of personality, pretty much, this public image and people making me an idol, it's very distasteful. He tells Talon, is like, because of your strength, practicality, and loyalty, you should be the one to talk for our people. He says, over the years, I've become more of a priest, and you are more of a warrior, so maybe they'll listen to you. And this is what I was hoping to remember. So Jakar had this amazing story arc, a complete character journey throughout the whole series. He started off as a potential villain for the series. He had some amoral, potentially immoral behavior exhibited. Whenever he dealt with the council, he was contentious. He fought tooth and nail to try to get any type of concessions for the Narn. You remember, they were coming from being occupied and colonized by the Centauri, and everything that Jakar did was like, I need to get this for my people. I need to get this for my people. And he did it in such a way, like, by any means necessary, and it rubbed people the wrong way. And then when the war broke out, the first war, the war between the Narn and Centauri, he ended up going to prison. You know, he ended up being detained, and he had an encounter with himself. We also know that he had an encounter with Jaquan / Kosh. Yeah. And yeah. And he changed his whole perspective. He turned over a new leaf. He became less of a warrior fighter and more of a kind of like a spiritual leader. He wrote the book of Jakar, and he was helping people to have a different perspective over everything. And yeah, they freed the Narn people, but when the Narn had the opportunity, they were like, oh, we're going to get revenge. We're going to blow up the Centauri. We're going to fight back. We're going to do all of these things. And Jakar's like, no. See, that's the problem. We're stuck in this cycle. We don't need to be in this cycle. We need to look beyond that. We need to build ourselves up. Even in the fall of Centauri Prime, the Narn headed that up. And Jakar is coming from the perspective of, because of my role in that, they won't listen to me. Not the enlightenment that I want to share. I'm no longer, he doesn't have a taste for this warrior life anymore. So he's giving it over to Talon. And he's like, Talon, yes, you're a warrior, but you're also enlightened. They'll listen to you. They'll do what you say, and you can guide my people. And I thought that was a really cool perspective on that character.
I thought that because they put him on such a high pedestal that he would have too much power over the people, and he knows that he is not malevolent, even though they treat him as though he is. And that's why he's like, I can't go back there no more, because they treat me like I'm some type of deity now, and that's not healthy. Which, like, in some way completely contradicts his actual book, which is a common thing, I guess. Instead of seeing as the person. So that's why he was leaving, and it makes sense that he would find someone that had, for lack of a better term, more humanity in the eyes of the people to replace him.
I am all for surprises, but I don't like the lack of reciprocity here from Jakar, because they want to make him their spiritual guider, like, be our idol right now. And he was like, oh, whoa, I didn't consent to that. But now you like jumping this dude into the game, and you didn't ask him if he wanted to be the ambassador of Babylon 5, even though I thought it was kind of lit that he already knew the type of time that this person was on, and when you walk up to this door locked, that's not going to stop you. That was just, it was nice, but he needs to be received onto Babylon 5, like, and for them to know that the new ambassador is coming, and for him to be catching his flowers and shit when he pull up, instead of all this secret underground, I gotta pass a test of unlocking the door and some shit just to be told that I'm about to be the ambassador, as opposed to being asked and I accept. The fuck is you? You don't tell me what to do.
I
Maybe
didn't
that's
think
just me though.
he kept trying to take it from him before.
Yeah.
There was an episode they were like, well, if you're not going to do this, then we need to have another leader, and they were all backing him as being the replacing him.
But just how Jakar has changed over those seasons, you don't know if he's still in that same position and wants that. It just,
That's true.
yeah.
As far as the story, the writing, and the rushiness of the writing, I think that was their justification, that he's the one who was trying to take it from him in the first place.
Also, you got to remember, Talon made a commitment to Jakar last season. He committed to be Jakar's bodyguard. He's committed to be by his side and everything. And so when Jakar asked him to show up, yeah, Talon's going to show up because he made that commitment of himself to Jakar. And so when Jakar appoints him, it's him still honoring that commitment. So it is, I get what you're saying as far as like it's not honoring. It could be perceived as not honoring Talon's autonomy, but at the same time, it's kind of like with Garibaldi. You're giving him a purpose, you're giving him a place to focus his energy, and he's going to do the best job ever when he gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
We see next a scene that I think deserved way more attention, but because of what they did to this character, I get it. So Dr. Franklin is having a quiet moment with Dr. Hobbs, and he basically says, hey, since I'm leaving, you are going to be the new chief of medicine on the station. And she's like, what do you mean? I barely know everything. You kept switching me from med lab to med lab. He goes, yeah, that's right. these different doctors, they're specialists. They can stay in their little corner, but a little bit about everything. You can move around. I need a generalist. And also, Dr. Hobbs is pretty smart. Like, if Franklin didn't snap at her all the time, we would probably be able to hear her solve all the problems that he had. And so, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm leaving for Earth immediately. Here's the keys to the house. You got this. Good luck. And he pieces out. I wrote in my notes, I really wish there was a lot more Dr. Hobbs. And the thing is, Hobbs shows up quite a bit. I just wish that she was there a lot more.
Yeah, that's what they could have filled in that one part that was not necessary.
Yeah, true. So that's another farewell. This is, this so far it's all about passing the torch. I'm leaving, you take over. We see that Delenn is having a conversation with Lanier. Lanier arrives to help her pack her belongings, and he's all like, "Yes, yo, so I had break from my training, and I could go anywhere in the galaxy I wanted to go. I wanted to be right here so I could help you pack." So, all right, cool, whatever. That's happening. In Sheridan's office, he's having a debrief with Tessa Halloran, number one from Mars, and they're basically explaining that there's this situation at one of the station. There's a squabble over what is it? It's
Territory.
It's a territorial dispute between the Drazi and, oh gosh, what were the other ones? I was gonna say Tellarite, but no, the Tellarites are in Star Trek. Dang, I forgot the name of the species, and we've even seen them on screen here. But basically, it's an issue with a brothel, and Zach laughs really hard because he's like, "Oh, I know what this is all about." And basically, the Drazi are not supposed to touch the other ones, and whatever. They just have a nice little laugh over that, and they're just showing how Tessa is coming into her own as the head of the ISA covert intelligence. All good. We switch to see Garibaldi because we have to see what's happening on both sides of this thing. Garibaldi, he's in a boardroom. The board walks in. No, Garibaldi's in a boardroom, and these people walk in and like, okay, what do you want us for? And he's like, you guys are the troublemakers. Whenever the company is doing things, all of you push back, y'all complain, and it's like, and the guy goes, oh, so you're gonna fire us? He goes, no, you all got promotions, and the reason why is because we need people like you. You need to tell us everything that we're doing wrong when we're going the wrong direction. If you're right, you get rewarded, but if you're wrong, I'll eat you for lunch.
I love this. It's like, hell yeah. Get rid of all those money grubbing, deceitful, backstabbing bitches that was at the top and get the hungry people at the bottom who is probably irritated with how most of the shit is ran. And they the ones that's really already running the fucking company. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep.
It kind of felt like it was turning into the I know they didn't exactly like make the wages and the cost even across the board, but like when the workers own the company is what it was giving. I loved it.
Kind of like a co-op type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I also felt like he was surrounding himself with people like him.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. It felt like that.
He's like, y'all the troublemakers that know all the stuff and will call stuff out when it's not right.
I think it also serves as a light-handed redemption of Garibaldi being a corporate stooge. Because they had him take out the previous board, and it's like, yeah, Garibaldi's got to run the company. But then it's like, no, we need a board, so let's get these folks. And so it's like, oh, he's going to be a kinder, gentler billionaire. So what do they call it? The benevolent billionaire? There's really no such
That's
thing.
like he's always like in the beginning he introduced himself as the grunt. and that he's here to do the job. Even though he's head of security, he's still like one of the boys. And now one of the boys is running a $1 billion corporation.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep that aspect of him because that is something that he put. That's his pedestal that he put himself on. It's not a bad pedestal.
Right.
You know how you do it. If you put yourself down on the pedestal, which would not be on the pedestal, I guess. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. It's all good. So we see Franklin hop on his shuttle and he's out of here. He's going to Earth. We get another quiet moment with Sheridan and Delenn. They're like, okay, cool. It's time for us to go. But then Lockley pops up. She goes, okay, oh, I'm sorry. So Sheridan and Delenn want to leave, but then they're watching the news and ISN is saying like, oh, this white star appeared and that must beat the shuttle for Sheridan and Delenn to leave. We don't know exactly when they're leaving, but we know that they are, and we're going to watch it and give you the update. You know, Sheridan's pissed about this. And when him and Delenn walk out, Lockley is there in the Zocalo, and it is packed with people. And she's like, yeah, so ISN ratted out on y'all's departure. So instead of trying to keep it secret, we just told everybody. And they had a nice little public farewell with the crowd. Delenn gives a speech. And it's kind of cool because she talks about how to become the ambassador, she had to learn several different languages. And one she calls English the language of commerce for the humans. And I'm like, yes. And then I got sick to my stomach because I'm like, yeah, it's also the language of colonization and economic imperialism. But bravo to you, Delenn, to recognize that. And bravo to you, J. Michael Straczynski, to shape it, to form it that way.
Yeah.
And she talks about how she has learned a lot, but she always struggled with the word goodbye because the philosophy of the Minbari is they don't actually have any words or any words that mean anything the same, but they always have phrases that allude to "I'll see you again," and so she leaves with saying, "We'll see you out there again. We'll come back. We'll come back this way." Zach and Lockley, they see them off in the docking bay, and this is really fun because we get this extremely emotional moment of them being on the White Star, some really cool music, and we get to see what a potential season 6 or second series crew would look like, because on the deck in CNC we got Lanier, Captain Lockley, we got Tessa, we got Talon, we got Veer Halloran. Oh yeah, Kerwin. That's who it was I was trying to say. We got Corwin. The whole crew is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 people who would be great characters to follow on their own series. And then after the salute, the White Star takes off. Now this is where the show starts to barrel into the ground for me. Because right now they've only been talking, and there's not really been any mystery or plot going on, right? So they just kind of invent one out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan is on he's in the quarters with Delenn on the White Star, and he's pacing around, and she's like, hey, do you need to go for a walk? He's like, no, I don't. And then he keeps pacing, goes, okay, I'll go for a walk. He goes for a walk, just roaming around the White Star, and then he just so happens to walk into I don't even know where they are, but it's a part where there is a coolant leak, and apparently it's really poisonous. There is a ranger in there that's like trying to fix it. Sheridan walks in and he's trying to help because the dude looked like he's about to pass out, and the dude is like, hey, you shouldn't have come in here because we're gonna lock the door. And then the door closes and it seals because they need to seal off the coolant leak. And then when so the door locks, and Sheridan's trying to figure out a way to get out. He bangs on the door, and around the corner down the hall, we see Lanier. Lanier like springs into action. He runs up to the door, and the door is glass, by the way, y'all. For whatever reason. Well, the reason you'll see in a second. Lanier is about to touch the door, the release panel, and Sheridan's like, "Yeah, Lanier, go ahead and hit the release panel. Get us out of here." And Lanier looks at it. He looks at Sheridan, and then he turns around and runs off. And this is the betrayal of Lanier. Lanier is betraying Sheridan, and it's one of those things. Like, is he really gonna leave him in there to die?
Yeah, that's the part that I said that we could have filled in with the doctors talking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
We could have added like 1 minute to everybody else's little I need you to take this job type thing. Or I choose you.
Right.
I choose you. That's what
I
I
choose
call
you.
it.
Right. So Sheridan is pissed off because Lanier runs off. Lanier is trying to leave because his whole thing is like, now's my chance. Sheridan, it'll look like Sheridan died in an accident when he dies, and then I'll have Delenn all to myself, which we know that ain't true. That's never true.
Right, because Delenn doesn't love him back.
Right.
That way. It was irrelevant. It was irrational.
Right. But then it starts to dawn on Lanier. He's like, I just can't do this. And so he turns back around to run back. Him and a whole bunch of other Rangers are with him. But Sheridan had already broken the door because he found the Rangers like retractable staffed, and he used that to break the window and open the door. And so they're attending to Sheridan. Delenn pops out, and she's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And Lanier is staring at Sheridan. Sheridan's staring at Lanier. Delenn is looking at them both, and then Lanier just runs off. This is kind of a nothing burger of a betrayal. It's not even that action packed. There's like nothing's really happening. Delenn and Sheridan, afterwards, they have a conversation, and Sheridan's pissed off, and he explains like, yeah, he left me there to die. And she says that they looked at Lanier's diary, and there was a lot more revealed as far as like his feelings for her. And she was like, I just didn't know it was, I mean, I knew he liked me. I knew he loved me. I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know it was like murder a person, like, yeah. And so, Sunday, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to get your thoughts on Lanier leaving Sheridan in the sealed off leak.
It was rough for me because we've known that it was predicted that he was going to betray us. And every time Lanier pops up, it's like, ooh, is this about to be it? We're in the middle of a war between whoever the fuck and whoever the fuck. Is this going to be the time Lanier's about to throw a wrench in the program? And no, Lanier comes through and saves everybody. And then he ends up going on a Black Ops mission. And I'm like, here's his opportunity. He's going to fuck it up and save everybody. Okay. And then they get blown out of the sky, and he then broke his leg. And now you have the opportunity to maybe do something sideways. And he don't. He just saves everybody again. And now they're like on a ship, and he got rid of the captain. And I was like, this nigga about to murder suicide everybody. This gonna be crazy. No. It was just like some accidental coolant leak. And then he got in his emojis like, what? And gonna walk away where he see you. And do you not know that Sheridan is kind of amazing at surviving even death? This man fell off of a whole, like, he jumped off a balcony, and there was a great explosion on the planet and everything. He came back from death, nigga. Do you think you gonna be able to like leave him in this room to suffocate with these gases? He saw you. He saw you. Come on now. That was just, it was garbage to think that Lanier is dumb enough to try to kill him that way. If you don't try to kill this nigga, the Lanier's smart enough to get away with the shits. Hated it. 10 out of 10. Do not recommend.
And also his conscience got to him, so he ran back and they had that whole conversation with him, Sheridan and Delenn.
Now, hold on. Let me interject on that part. Aside from the show, like if we talking like real emotions, that kind of hit me because I know what it's like to have like people you're sexually attracted to versus people that you are romantically involved with, and that gets really hard to differentiate, right? That you can have intimacy like emotionally but not physically, and the lines get all kind of blurry in society when you be trying to explain to people like the difference. And even on the outside looking in, people on the outside be real confused thinking that somebody as close as Lanier and Delenn, that there ain't no way that they not smashing, right? And sometimes one side of that relationship would be open to the sexual relationship when the other is not. So when your feelings go unattended to for a while, I suppose it can make people do weird things like this. And so thinking from like that kind of real world emotional side of things, like that felt really icky. And when he lived and has to go tell his wife, like, yo, your man's like that's your best friend. And I fuck with this dude. I just told him he come stay at the house whenever he in town. Like he can try to let me die. So that shit rough. And I feel sad for the way that they have fucked up Lanier's character. But when he changed his mind, it was like, shit, I can't do this. It kind of felt genuine, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you fucked up, bro. There ain't no really coming back from this, sadly. Oh, man. It's crazy. I'm done.
Yeah. So the conversation after that, like Sheridan is really upset. He's pissed. He's like, yo, he almost killed me. And they decide Sheridan decides, like, you know what? No. Here's the thing. We're gonna keep it quiet. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna go to Minbar. Don't tell them anything that happened. It's all good. I don't want to arrive late, and we'll just deal with Lanier when we get a chance. And I mean, and they do look at it like, yeah, Lanier really tried to kill me, but they're trying to keep it quiet. And this is kind of what there is a hint of something here where in order for the Interstellar Alliance to work, they have to lie about some of these things. And I wish there was more exploration on that, but sorry folks, they are not. This is it. there there's no more room.
No spoiler.
They just got out of the Civil War. Like,
Yeah, they just got through a civil war.
And then another war.
Yeah.
And another one.
So we see Sheridan and Delenn. They arrive on Minbar. They're greeted in their suite by Emperor Lando, which this threw me off. I forgot that he did this. I'm like, why is this dude on Minbar? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess what's about to happen makes sense. So Lando has kind of a dinner meeting with Sheridan and Delenn, and he claims like his previous hostility was for a public show, because they were like, yo, you seem a little different from the last time. You were very rough with us. He's like, yeah, it's just for the audience. People had to see this. Because remember, he had to be extremely stern by isolating Centauri Prime. Mm-hmm. And he says, in reality, it's all good. We're still friends. I wish you well. And then he says, when I heard that you all were pregnant, I knew I had to bring this gift for your unborn child. And so they bring it in, and it's an urn, which is totally weird for somebody to bring for a child. And Sheridan is like, okay, since I can't talk you out of it, okay, we'll take it. And he goes, I noticed that this is sealed at the bottom. And Lando goes, "Oh, yes. I was told it contains water from a river that flowed by the first palace 2,000 years ago." And that is a weird gift to give an alien child. And
Under weird, so we don't question it.
right. And then here's another thing. Lando explains, "Be sure to give it to him on his 16th birthday." That's very important because we know what Sheridan knows, right? They have roughly like 25 years, no, 20 years with him. Sheridan might be able to give the child that gift. He might not, because how many years has it been since the end of the Shadow War? Maybe a year, 2 years? So
It could be 3.
yeah. So it could be 3 now. So he might be able to give that child the urn. He might not, but it's something that apparently is going to be a keepsake. And then we get to see that inside of the urn is one of the little alien keepers just waiting and waiting. At dinner, though, I thought this was great. Delenn is looking at Lando and she is so distracted as he's talking. And she finally sees the keeper that's cloaked on his shoulder. And she's like, and Lando is like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And she's like, I didn't hear a word you said. I'm totally distracted. What again?" And so she knows something's up because Delenn always knows something up. Also, we haven't figured out if she has like latent telepathic abilities. She just be knowing stuff.
Yeah. She could be like a level 1 or something.
Yeah.
I would be having everything that came from him scanned and double checked. I need an x-ray of this fucking thing, and I need a telepath to come and like mind read him or it, especially after she thinks she saw something on this nigga. Hell no. What we not about to be doing is taking in no gifts from an op, and then you gonna tell me when to open my shit? Like, keep that. I don't even like gifts for real. So now we cool.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy that you had the last time we saw you. People need to understand that about me too. However, the last time we left each other, when we come back, you need to have that same energy. Because I ain't let this shit go. The fuck? Hell no.
So
No.
Delenn is called away and she gets a message from Lanier. Delenn is called away and she receives a message from Lanier. Lanier is apologizing. Is like, "Look, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I didn't intend to hurt Sheridan. This was beyond me." And Lanier's like, and Delenn is like, "Okay, I know, and we're ready to forgive you. Just come back in." And he's like, "Nope, I can't. I cannot. I need to go away. I must find redemption first, but I promise you that we will meet again." In other words, just like her issue with saying goodbye, it could be that Lanier has trouble saying goodbye, and he's like, "Nah, you'll never see me again. Alive." Alive. So I don't know. Lando gets ready to depart, and we get to see this really this is the part I forgot about dinner. He talks, they're wanting to tell something, and he asks if there's like whiskey or some Centauri liquor, and they're like, "No, we don't have any because alcohol is dangerous for the Minbari, so why would we have it?" Yeah. But we find out that Lando doesn't have any alcohol either because he is advised not to drink. There's a his handlers they say that he causes a lot of chaos and they'd rather keep him sober than drunk. But after the dinner, he talks, after the dinner, one of the Drock is talking to him and they're praising him like, "You did good, you gave him the thing." And he's like, "Because of how good you were, we will give you 1 hour of freedom." And Lando looks like extremely just tired and worried. And someone hands him a glass of alcohol. So he gets the drink. And I think the Drock figured out like if he drinks a lot, the keeper will get drunk. So they're keeping him under strict control. And the Drock explained like that they can be patient and they will wait decades for their plan to come to fruition. So that's what I mean. Like there's a storyline in here that can pop up in another series if they decided to do that. If Warner Brothers ever get their act together. So then we are coming to the wrap up of the show. That night, Sheridan he starts to record a message for his unborn child. The whole thing is him just thinking about legacy and all that stuff. And also, I think it was because Lando told him like, give this to your child when he turns 16. I don't think Sheridan believes that he's gonna live that long. You know?
Yeah.
And so he records some life lessons, and he's drawing on the people that were around him. Trust Delenn's courage. He's going to be the greatest ally that you ever have. Learn from your mistakes, like Garibaldi. I don't know if Garibaldi learned from his mistakes. Find your passion, like Franklin. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's
Franklin. Your Uncle Franklin is someone you always go to when you need help.
Yes, absolutely. He'll find a way. And also, yeah, you need to go to Uncle Franklin because he's the one that's been like monitoring your development of what a hybrid human Minbari would even be like. So, check in with that person. And then he advises embracing change and standing for one's beliefs. And this is something that I was thinking about for this whole episode. As they're trying to end the series, the message that is being told is like, fight for what you believe in. I do have some struggle with that message though, because the Centauri, they believed that they were superior to everyone in the galaxy and they were willing to fight for it, very treacherously. They almost ended the galaxy for it. But I guess it's a feel-good message for people who believe that they are moral and just so happen to fall on the quote-unquote good side. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like a direct message to his son. I want to say child, but to his son.
Yeah.
So he's talking about him fighting for what he wants.
Yeah. And he's about to say that, and remember above all else, and before he gets to say it, Delenn pops in and she goes, never start a fight, but always finish it. And I thought that was kind of cool because that is something that Sheridan always exhibited in the series. But also that phrase itself was what helped Sheridan win the wars. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then with the message complete, Sheridan is like ready to chill out. And him and Delenn, they go back to bed and they end the episode. Now, the show is over, but there's one more episode. So I'm gonna leave it to y'all. I know how the show ends. I'm interested in potential predictions on how it ends.
I would like to see them go back to Babylon 5 and actually interact with the people that are the new cast.
I would love that so much.
Trying to close up. But also they could just do a whole passing of the torch to what's his name? I should learn people's. No, I just have a hard time remembering name. With Lando dying.
We've
done that, but we haven't done yet. Veer becoming the next king, emperor.
Yeah, I would love to see something like that, and maybe the reforms of Centauri Prime. But yeah,
Prime is not going to reform. What are you talking about? They just are not going to get it together. They went from being pieces of shit, like what is the name of their economic system?
Higher Prime.
Who, the Centauri?
They're
imperialists.
the people that That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, love. They went from being pieces of shit imperialists to now being pieces of shit imperialists that are run by like some kind of lizard thing. Because that lizard thing is about to try to take over the Minbari people too. So they are gonna be doing the same thing. They're just doing it more covertly. They're not gonna be as obvious about their attempts to take over, is my prediction. But the best I can guess, if they're not gonna like have a whole nother season, is that they're going to time jump however many years into the future to try to wrap up whatever it is we're seeing today. Whatever the fuck is going on with what's that boy name that just tried to kill the president?
Veer. Lanier.
Veer. Lanier. Yeah, him. Check on what's going on with Lanier. Like y'all said, whatever is going on with Centauri Prime when Lando stops being the Emperor. I don't think that Veer is dumb enough to get taken over by a Slytherin. Like he sorry. Harry Potter, but he would probably find some way out of it or die. Like, I don't see him laying down to be taken over by the, the parasite people. And yeah, so, and it might be like several years of jumping. Like 5 years from now, this is kind of what happened. And then a decade from then, that's what happened. And then try to wrap it all up that way. But I don't know. I've never watched this show before, so I'm just total speculation here.
I would like for them to. They could also just figure out the thing with the shadow, the friends of the shadows. That would be nice if they infiltrated that and put a stop to it.
Forget what's gonna go on with the billionaire company that is being run by an alcoholic. Like, is he gonna get one of the snake things and stop drinking? Or is he gonna actually get to kill Bester? What's that boy's name? Bester? Yeah. Is he gonna get his revenge on him? Come on, please tell me that old girl and Jakar been hooking up and they could have a little warrior baby for real. Okay, hello? With telepathic abilities and the strength of him and like his warrior nature, oh my god, they would make like the cutest little baby.
Oh my god.
I'm done.
Yeah. I know how it ends. So I'll wait until the next episode to share my thoughts of what are some stories that would be amazing to come from this. I just gotta say, J. Michael Straczynski knows how to tell a story and how to keep a story going. Mel and I did a live where I was like, sometimes series just go on and there's no reason for them to go on. This is a story where it can go on and there are reasons for it to go on and they just won't do it. Like they ended Breaking Bad and they're like, no, we need more of that. It's like, no, but you ended it. It's over. There's no reason to do more. They ended the Game of Thrones and they're like, we need more of that. It's like, you ended it. There's no more reason for you to do it. You know what I mean? They keep doing that, but with a series that is primed for more story, they're just like, no. Yeah. All right, let's get ourselves out of here. Thank y'all for joining us for this episode of Voices in Hyperspace. Be sure to continue the conversation on our Facebook. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and share us with your friends on all of your streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon. I'm Legendary Black Lion. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Legendary Black Lion. Join me and let's have some really cool sci-fi talk.
I'm Mel Asylum, author, and you can find me at melsrebellion.com. You can find me on TikTok where I go live Saturdays at 6 Eastern Standard Time, and we can chat about science fiction. And on my website, Mel's Rebellion, you can read the first chapter of my book, Unrooting the System, and find links to buying it.
Hey y'all, this is Sunday. You can find me at a poker table.
Until next episode, we'll see you out there. Peace.